and it's very, very unfortunate. It's when it happens like this, we have no choice. So please join us back, join us so that we can move with speed. You know, it is very, very sad that a lot of people thought or people think that Biafra can just come without shooting a gun. We have shot guns. Biafra will just come without any negotiation. Biafra will just come without, having lobbyists or attorney that is going to, represent Biafra in places that matters most. Okay, let me just play some music while we wait for while we wait.
There's a grave in the ground that shouldn't be there. There's a child with no bed and nobody cares. There's a woman who prayed while the system played, and another name the world erased. But I hear the dust cry out. I feel the sky bend low, and if no one else will say it, then I will let them know. Enough, no more hiding what you've done. Enough, we remember everyone, from the camps to the cries. We carry their names. You buried the body, but left us the flame.
Okay, so like I was saying, so a lot of people thought or think that Biafra will come on a platter of gold. A lot of people thought that, oh, we are not going to fight another war before Biafra comes. We are already fighting war already. Yes, if you go to Olu, you see what I mean by we are fighting war. You can see how they have been throwing bombs in our houses, in our communities, because we are fighting for our freedom. So our leader, Mazin Nandekano, and our prime minister, they understand the template of freedom. They understand that for we to achieve our freedom, we have to be as brutal as the oppressor themselves. We have to be as brutal as the British government. We have to be as brutal as the Nigerian government. And in being brutal, we have to have our own army We have to have our own defense forces. Otherwise, we are going nowhere. So that is why Mazin Nandekano made you to understand that, made us to understand, or it's common sense, that when you see one person is beating the other person, passers-by will say, why are you beating him? Leave him, let him go. What, leave him. But when you see two people are beating one another, they are fighting, you will be forced to stop. First of all, you go and separate the fight. Then you start asking them the reason for their engagement into that fight. This is exactly the scenario that awaits Nigeria with Biafra. So, but one thing that we have to understand is that those who made this fight possible, those who made it possible that we must fight to free ourselves, can never be free. Fight can never depart from their homes. Terrorism can never depart from their homes, can never depart from their country. Natural disasters can never depart from their countries. Killings, assassinations can never depart from their country. And not even only their country, from their household. This is where the British government and the Nigerian government comes into play. Because I want us to understand that before 1914, the area that we know as the Biafran region, we were living very much in peace, which comprises the coastal regions and the hinterland of Biafra. We were living very much in peace. Okay? We were very much a progressive people. We were intermarrying without any problem. We were coexisting without any issues. Our region, Biafran land, prospered primarily or thrived primarily through palm oil export, palm oil production and export. There were a lot of trade that was going on around Biafran region, both the coastal region and the hinterland. We have a net of agricultural products, entrepreneurial, societies making part of it. We were among the most populous region in Africa because we were exporting goods, we were exporting services. By late 90s, 19th century, okay? That is after the abolition of the transatlantic trade in the early 19th century. Our region was very much progressive. The likes of Michael Okpaladem, they made our economy to boom. They made our economy to prosper. Our people were not being killed. Our people were, our natural habitat was very much rich. We are enjoying life to its fullness, irrespective of the fact that that was the uh, 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 um, technology and advancement or development have not was not up to this how it is now that it was then. No, but our people were very much comfortable with the produce. with their exports, with their production, with their lives, living communally with our brothers and sisters without any problem. It was quite unfortunate. We didn't know how these people came to locate our region. We didn't know in the first place what brought them to our region. These British evil colonialists, they should have stayed in their region. They should have stayed in their part of the world and enjoyed themselves than coming to our land to desecrate the way that we were living as a people. You can imagine a situation whereby when you go to your farmland, you go and plant, and during the time of harvest, your harvest will be bountifully. We have enough to eat, we have enough to share with our brothers, with our families, even with our neighbors. So everything was working perfectly well. Everything was okay. We were doing fine. We were living well before 1914. I am referring before 1914. Before 1914, our region was very much progressive. We were very much in tune and in line with our region, and we were living peacefully with our brothers and our sisters. It was a sight to behold. Then, all of a sudden, in 1914, came the British to our land. And when they saw how poor the northern region has been, when they saw their feudal system of the north and the Alamajiri system of the north and the feudal system of the Yoruba land, they understand very well that we are not the same people. Lord Lugard understand that we are not the same people. The British government understand that we are different from the Yorubas and the Yorubas are different from us. The British also understand that the Fulani, then there was nothing like Fulani. It was the Hausa tribe. The Hausa are also very much progressive in their areas until the Fulani came. So we were very much doing businesses together, differently until 1914. Having seen how progressive that we are, and having seen the great things that our region can produce, and how our government was functioning at that particular time. Because even before the British came, we have already started practicing democracy, live and let live system. We are not reliable or dependent on anybody. We never depended on the North. Neither did we depend on the West for anything. But when the British came, they saw these wonderful governmental structures that we have in Biafran territory. They know how much we has prospered to developing our land, bringing our people together, and making sure that every community, every kindred, whenever there is issues, the issues are being settled amicably. The British came with their kind of government And I didn't know why our men and women during that 19th, before 1914, why our people, even as caution of the British, could not resist it till the end. For the singular reason that that amalgamation, for the singular reason that it was not acceptable by the Biafran people. Why did our people give up fighting to destroy that forced amalgamation? Because the actions and activities of Britain are that even at the onset of the amalgamation demonstrated their interest, their motive for that forced amalgamation. Before 1914, our people were so much focused. Before 1914, our people were so much focused, progressive, industrious, and democratic in every nature until the devil came and sowed the seed of amalgamation through the British government, their evil agenda. Anyanwụ Paulinus. Anyanwụ Paulinus, the prime minister, first prime minister of the Biafran Republic government in Ezamazi Simon Ekpanjoko, the first message that he sent to Ngozi Orabueze after the declaration that was made in Lati, Finland in 2024. And Ngozi said, oh, we are now USB. Just like you are saying now, you are USB. You are now a free nation. The Prime Minister made you to understand that USB cannot stand on its own because we have not had any administrative structure in Biafra land, in Biafran territory. He said, what our Prime Minister told us before the declaration is that after the declaration of Biafra, after the declaration of Biafra, we are going to make sure that we evict the terrorists that are in our land. When that terrorist is now evicted, Biafran government in exile will now form an administrative government in the homeland through the de facto government in the homeland. Then the BRGIE will now dissolve. Will dissolved when we have already evicted the terrorists from our land. Anyanwụ Paulinus, I want to ask you, have we evicted the terrorists from our land? The answer is no. So what is the basis of saying you are a free country where you can be, where you are, while you are in exile? Anyanwụ Paulinus, I'm asking you. Our Prime Minister, first Prime Minister, called for unity. He wants Ngozi Orabueze to understand that you can never be a free nation while you are in exile. You can never be free while you are still controlled in your territory by your oppressors, by your slave masters, that you can never be free. It is only when you are free that we can now form an administrative government, form a political structure in Biafran territory. Then we now dissolve the Biafran Republic government in exile. Then we now go home and be able to reorganize and be able to govern ourselves. But Ngozi said no, that you are a free nation. Ngozi told you that you are free, you don't even need recognition. So what are you now doing in exile? If you are a free, if you are free as a nation, then go back to Biafra land and establish a political structure, and then do a transitional government in the homeland, because to you, you are free. So this is one thing that you people that are following Ngozi and Emma refuse to acknowledge, refuse to understand. It is Biafran Republic government in exile that is going to take USB to its destination. As a matter of fact, USB does not exist. You cannot say we are United States of Biafra. For now, we cannot be a free nation because we are still under occupation in our land. It is only what our government is doing in Washington, D.C. When Biafra is now recognized, then BRUGIE will now form a transitional government in the homeland in conjunction with the de facto government in the homeland. Then the BRUGIE that is in exile will now be dissolved. While the transitional government that have been formed in Biafra land will now take charge of election and putting in place political offices and political structures in Biafran territory. That is the only time you can now claim that you are a united, confederating Biafran state. So when you say we can't get Biafran by scattered voices, it is people like you that have scattered. You refuse to appreciate. You refuse to come back to Biafran Republic government in exile. You are following Ngozi. You are following Emma. Now, if I ask you, Anyanwu Paulinus, if I ask you, since that you are following Ngozi, tell me one thing in the comment section here for our listener to know what Ngozi have done. If you are following Emma, tell me one thing in the comment section that Emma have achieved since 2nd of December 2024 or thereafter by February that they started this accountability propaganda issues. Tell me what they have achieved. They have achieved zero achievement. So why are you now saying are we going to come to USB, or USB misinformed Biafran should come back to their root? Your root is Biafran Republic government in exile. There is nothing that can change that. And that is why we have been consistent. We remain consistent in the midst of all this flood, all this wind, all this dust, all this commotion, all this propaganda. Biafran Republic government in exile have stood the test of time. We are going to remain here until Biafra is restored, because it is Biafran Republic government in exile that is going to bring us Biafra. No other thing, no other government. That is the only government that is known in Washington, D.C. Okay, so Anyanwu Paulinus, you have an opportunity of doing the right thing. Come back to BRUGIE. That is the only government that American recognizes fighting for Biafra. That is the only government that Washington, D.C., great cabinet men and women of U.S. government, they understand. All these shenanigans that you people are doing on social media, you are just wasting your time. So all these things you are doing, you are just wasting your time. Okay? You people start following people who don't have anything to offer. You start following people who are here to destroy our freedom. Eh? Does it mean that you people cannot make use of your number 6? Does it mean that you cannot reason properly well? What has Ngozi contributed since the restoration of Biafra. What has she done? What has Emma also done since the restoration of Biafra? That is one thing you people cannot be able to explain to us. You cannot explain to us what Ngozi has done. You are coming here to tell us, oh, do this and do that and do this and do that. We should come back to USB. USB for what? USB is a non-existent group. Okay? USB is non-existent. As far as we are concerned, USB cannot function. It cannot function. Okay? USB cannot function. It's not functional. USB is already dead. It's dead already. Even the people that are supporting Ngozi in the homeland are now telling her to come back home. She promised you Biafra. She said that we are free nation. So let her go home and be the prime minister and appoint her own president or appoint her own governors. Very, very important that you understand that. Okay? We are here to enlighten our people. We are here to educate our people. We are here to give you the information that is verifiable, the truth and nothing but the truth. We are not here for propaganda. I am not here for propaganda because I know the reason why I joined the Biafran Freedom. And because of the Biafran spirit in each and every one of us, whenever you want to go astray, that spirit will bring you back. So most of you that we are not brought back or are still with Ngozi, it means that you don't have that spirit of Biafra in you. Most of you that are still supporting Emma Mahmoud, it means that you don't have that spirit of Biafra in you. Because if you had that spirit of Biafra in you, you will understand that Ngozi and Emma are not in any way doing anything for the Biafran restoration project. Rather, they are using your head because of how sentimental most of you feel. They will now use your head, collect money from you, tell you that something is happening, whereas nothing is happening. But in Biafran Republic government in exile, we don't need to convince you. We don't need to convince you. I only need to send you to Biafran Republic government in exile website. You go and see for yourself. Even Nigerian government have confessed about what the activities of BRGIE. American government are also letting you understand. Our lobbyists, our attorneys,